I think, are we live? We're live. Okay. It's a little unclear. Okay, I think this is live. Are you able to hear me on the microphone? I think I'm about 2 minutes early. I'm not exactly certain. I want to be sure the audio is coming through my microphone. Bear with me. Camden, yes. So you're hearing me here. Can you hear this scratching? Sorry, I know that's got to be really obnoxious. Can you hear that scratching on the microphone? Okay. All right. I will stop that. Okay. Awesome. I'm in a new spot. My office has no natural light whatsoever. It doesn't even have access to outside. There's no windows or anything. And so it's really hard for me to be motivated to stay in there. So this is actually our entryway. This is the kitchen that I'm remodeling. And then the front door. So I'm actually moving my desk, my office into here. I kind of like this setup a lot better. I've got a light right here, but I like having natural. I can look outside and see life, and that's really good. Oh gosh! All right, so I'm dyslexic, so I can read questions is at probably like at 5th grade level, but I'll try to get as many questions as possible. Morgan, I just got your text, by the way. Speaking of, this is very off topic of anything I want to talk about. I'm geeking out on a new piece of tech that new to me. These wireless chargers. This is the coolest thing in my life that has like taken over my obsession. I have got these everywhere now. They're so freaking cool. I'm sorry. That's about. Sorry, I lost track of thought there. It's a good question about the beam. I don't know. The guy that had a guy supposed to be coming in today, and he canceled on me. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about an idea that I've got. I've got a lot of people on this channel that are filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers or drone pilots, but wanting to do sort of a commercial side of drone flying, not just as a hobby. So I wanted to talk to you guys about an idea that I kind of thought of in the shower. What if we did something highlighting a different filmmaker from my subscribers maybe either once, probably not once a week, maybe once a week, maybe at least twice a month or once a month, where you can submit, and it's not any sort of contest, but just sort of like highlighting a different filmmaker every week or every month or whatever we end up doing, but having something like that to where we can network with each other. Because one of the coolest things that I actually really enjoy about this is that it's not just me doing stuff here on camera and uploading videos, but it makes me really, really happy when I see people and my subscribers that are actually meeting up and starting to communicate and become friends with each other in the comments and through different videos and forming a network of their own. So I thought maybe building on that, we can, if I could start having people send in projects and films that you've worked on or that you've created recently, and then upload them as part of just regular content. Maybe not a single video just on their short film, but something in, let's just say, like a vlog format, but then highlighting that different one, and then everybody can get to see and appreciate and maybe network a little bit more. I don't know. What are some thoughts on that? I'll shut up for a minute and start reading some comments. Oh gosh, a light looks good. This is, oh man, this is my new favorite light, by the way. This is the Aperture 120D. Beautiful. Billy Naff, I wish I could get like 2 or 3 videos out a week. It is so complicated to navigate work, marriage. Not that marriage is hard, but just prioritizing time with my wife and whatnot. I have had so many. I've actually had this calendar year, I've had 4 videos that I attempted to film, just could not get them to look where I thought they were good enough to upload. And so I just abandoned them completely. Actually, I had a little bit of an issue over this weekend. We were shooting a video. We were doing a karting video again this last weekend. The cart broke 3 times. And then we got run off of the spot we were supposed to film. And it's like, we've got 6 hours of footage that I don't have enough to make a video out of. Fun times, fun times. Tweak FPV, that's funny. Tweak FPV says, marriage is hard when you have a wife like mine. Work at it, man. Work at it. Oh, man. So anyway, so if that sounds like something that anybody would want to do or be a part of, and again, I don't feel like it's important to say like, hey, it needs to meet a certain criteria. I think that there's so many different, I've realized there's a huge wide range of people that are subscribed to my channel. And so I think if we can, let me back up. I think that there would be a really cool, very wide range of content that people are creating out there. And I would love to help share that in some way. Does that make sense? Does that make any sense at all? I don't think I'm going to be throwing any Mavics out of cars anytime soon. That got expensive. It's actually right here. I don't know if I've shown this since that happened. Whew. That was a rough day. Actually, it was a rough couple of days. You know, like when you're in denial about something you've done that was so stupid, and then you can't quite come to grips with it. That's what that was. Yeah, thanks, Ian. Oh man. Oh yeah. Hey Jay, what's up, man? Hey, I got your book. I don't have it around me, but I got your book. I did a Amazon review, by the way. That was me. I know. And I had that Mavic, Billy, that Mavic had survived many a crash, and it's hard to say that they weren't intentional. They were experimental. Morgan Wade, who's in the comments here somewhere, he and I did one. I don't know if anybody's watched like older videos from like last year. We did one where we're trying to land it on the moving truck, and it didn't go well. That was like 3 crashes, but it survived that and didn't survive, you know, getting chunked out of a car. So it's good times. But anyway, we've got like 25 people watching right now. Who in the comments here is in the filmmaker leaning genre? The comments just go silent. Awesome. That's funny. Philip, I have checked out your stuff. You've got some really good stuff. Ian, I've checked out your stuff as well. I like it. It won't let me click on your name here for some reason. Sorry. So, okay. So let me back up. There's a interesting thing that goes on now where I feel like people tend to call themselves filmmakers when, again, I'm going to back up even further. I went to an art show for a college, and it was really weird because there was a lot of people who were doing things that they called art that like, for example, there was a kid who put bologna in Ziploc bags and stapled them to the wall. That was his senior art project. And I was angering the teachers because I was saying, well, that's not art. I forgot where I was going with that sentence. Regardless, I think that filmmaking is something where it's just storytelling. There's people who I've seen people who will literally just sort of vlog their day and it's like, I made a film. I don't feel like those are necessarily films if they're done in sort of like the traditional vlog style. I think you can make them films, but I don't feel like every single video I don't feel like is a film. So I want it to be as open as possible to where even if you have no experience, but you're making an effort and you're just exploring the genre, I guess that's valid. That's a valid wow, submission. I should really think this stuff through better. This right here is where it really pulls back the veil. This is all the crap that I end up editing out of my videos. But since we're live, there it is. Anyway, like I said, I want to open up to as many people as possible. I want as many people to feel like that they're a part of it and that what they're doing is productive in that realm, because it's not just for the experience. I want inexperienced as well as experienced. And again, it's not for prizes, but it's more for building a community with you guys and the 3% of my subscribers that are female. But just to build as much of a community with everybody as possible. Does that make sense? Something like that? I feel like I am trying to keep my eyes staring at that camera so much as the comments are popping up on the side of my screen. It's really distracting. Hey, okay. That's a good question, man. Okay, Mark Anthony, I wear your shirts. Hey, so it says, hey, Chris, I'm going to international travel this month. I'm bringing my Mavic Pro. Any advice on how not to have problems with my drone from airlines or TSA? Where are you going? What country are you going to? So there's a website that I used. Morgan, please don't stop the music was one of my proudest short film moments, okay? There's a website that I'm going to try to find real quick, and it's it might be an FAA website, but it's drone laws by country. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Okay, so there's a website, Mark, called UAV Systems International.com. And they have, if you click on there, let's see, I'm on my wife's laptop and it is ancient. Okay, check this out. Drone laws broken down by country. So if you scroll through there, you can click on, like, for example, I grew up in Brazil. I can click on Brazil right there. And it'll give you basically broken down the laws right off the books. So it's a pretty good resource. For me, I've had more trouble getting my Phantom through international TSA than the Mavic, because the Mavic is the size of an average camera. So they really don't care much about that. They care more about the batteries. And as long as you're keeping them in your check-on bag and not going through your, wait, let me back up. As long as you're going through your carry-on bag and not your check bag, they really have not given me any problems. When I got through Honduras last month with my Phantom, they were freaking out right when I came through, because they have laws as far as journalism. International journalism has to something about it, like it needs to be declared, or there needs to be a different visa. I'm not really sure how that works, but they eventually let me go through. But I did go through their drone laws before I left, and that at least gave me a little bit of peace of mind that I wasn't stepping out of bounds or kind of venturing into it completely blind, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see. Turkey and the Emirates have harshest rules on batteries. The rest are all generally okay. Okay. So Ian is saying that Turkey and the Emirates, I've actually never been out that way. Going to the Philippines. Well, we can just take a quick little look over here. How long is that flight, by the way? Because that's insane. Okay, so Ian in London says, so Chris, what style of videos are you suggesting? Videos of great scenery with music, never seem to go anywhere beyond family. Spoken videos that seem to get picked up by viewers. That's true. I'm down for whatever. I think, let's just say I get 10 videos. I mean, obviously I think whatever's going to probably captivate, whatever I probably find captivating would be what I would most likely post. I would think, so at least tell me a story. Like I did a film festival 3 or 4 months ago that there was a finalist it was an all drone film, and in competing against non-drone films. I was competing against 2 of my films, competing against some international submissions, and it told a story. It was actually going through the seasons, and it was showing this one area where the director, she lives up in Canada, and so she was very particular in her drone shots and where she went to show as best she could this one particular lake somewhere in Vancouver, but just showing it through the seasons. And so it told a story. And so that's fine. There was no talking. It was just music. She did some really weird kind of color grading, but it told a story. And so it was still captivating, even though there was no people. I like telling stories with people, whether there's voiceover or not, or whether there's dialogue or not. I think as humans, we tend to connect to another person, even an animal. I think we just connect to a living being more so than we do just random shots of nature. But if you can tell a captivating story with it, I think it's completely valid. Morgan, what was your question, man? I can't read that fast. JB Drones, Josh Bowman. No problem. No problem. I think this stays up. I'm not sure how these work exactly. I think these stay up after the stream is done. So it'll be here, I guess. Let me go through here. Bauer Socks, by the way, I love the name. Just got back from mainland China with my Mavic, didn't have any issues. See, I would think China would give you lots of issues, but I've never been there. Morgan Wade has been there. Morgan Wade, how do you fly with a bike? I would suggest you get a golf bag, take your bike apart, put the bike in the golf bag, because there's no fee for flying with golf clubs, but there is one for flying with a bike. Does that answer your question? Morgan Wade, everybody. Morgan Wade and I used to live together for like 5 years before I got married. You ought to do a Google search on him. He's a good follow. Which are the colors we're going to go with on the back of the wall? The dark one right here, that one. That's going to be the overall choice. Jay, you've got a great eye for shot composure, though, man. You could put together a story pretty quick. I know you're primarily a photo guy, but you've got such a good eye, and you know about color and exposure and shot composition. I have no doubt you could put together a really awesome story. Jacob, man, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Let's just go with Jacob. What's the best beginner camera? Are you talking about a beginner camera for drones? Or are you talking about for YouTube? Wife will be going to Corpus Christi, Texas. I have not been to Corpus Christi, even though I have friends there. For a Comic-Con in a few weeks, a cool place to see along the way. Man, that'd be cool. You could probably get some amazing drone footage from that trip. As a matter of fact, I'm going up to Dallas. Here's a preview. I do this too much. I don't know why. I should stop this. Anyway, tomorrow I'm actually going to Dallas to pick up our new race car. So I'm going to do like a little video just kind of showing you guys the new race car, because I didn't actually do a very good job of showing you guys what happened to the last one. Turns out they don't, race cars don't bounce that well off of solid concrete objects. But I'll throw a few of those clips in there and show you guys our new car, because we're excited. Philip, be good. Sarah is a lot more pleasant to look at, that's for sure. She is at work. Mark Anthony, I'm here in Alaska. From AK to LA is about 6 hours. LA to Seoul, Korea is about 14 hours. Korea to the Philippines about 3 hours. 23 hours flight overall. Whoo-wee. Yeah. Did I miss Jacob? Oh, you have a fan. Okay, sorry, Jacob. It scrolled by so fast, I lost you. You have a DJI Phantom 3 standard, but you want a camera for travel. So you want like a pocket. What's it called? Let me gather my thoughts. A video camera to take with you. Is that what I'm guessing? That's what you're saying. The camera that my buddy Potato Jet, who you should all go follow because he's amazing. He uses, I think it's, I want to say, it's not that, sorry. I want to say he uses the 80D, but that doesn't feel right. Hold on one second. If he would hop on here, he could answer that question. You want a DSLR? Okay. Okay, so let me just tell you what I have. I use the Sony A7S Mark II, and I love it. But I also utilize this for work, so it's pretty pricey just to have something to use. The Canon 80Ds are pretty awesome. The 70Ds are really good. I'm trying to. My coordination is quite bad today. Yeah, okay. So I would tell you, if you're looking for, I don't know what your budget is, but I really have always liked the 70Ds that Canon has. They're very versatile. They have a great selection of lenses. They're durable, and their image quality is pretty awesome. I think they start somewhere around like the $700 or $800 range. It just really depends on what you're wanting to do. If you just need something to get you started, the Rebel line is actually really good. I've always been really impressed with those. For me, the thing that I wanted was, for example, with this camera, I have a bigger hookup so I can hook in XLR microphones and whatnot into the hot shoe. But the thing that for me in particular, I wanted just a jack on the side so I could take a microphone like this and plug my microphone right into the side. So that was really, my criteria was autofocus and then being able to plug in my microphone. So my criteria was kind of low, but guys like my friend Potato Jet, who I'll probably keep referencing, he uses a 70D and something else. I'm forgetting what it is, but he gets incredible results with that, and it's relatively affordable. Your budget's around $600. See, if I could talk and read faster, I would have not missed your question. Let's see. Okay, so Steve, you've got one. Steve Carpenter says he's got a 70D. And I guarantee you, they've been around long enough, Jacob, that you could probably hop on to eBay or even Amazon and get you one used for right around your budget with probably pretty decent quality. I wonder if I can hop on Amazon. I bet you they got some on here. Let's see. 800, 700. I mean, there's some options. They're actually recommending, if you like this, you might like, there's a Rebel T6 for $342. It's actually pretty good. And it comes with a lens. Anyway, I tell you, Jay Malone has got some photography knowledge and some camera DSLR knowledge. That guy knows his stuff. Who also, by the way, is about to pass me in subscribers here in about 2 days. Jay, congratulations, man. You're like killing it right now. It's awesome. Yeah, so the 80D did quote unquote replace. See, there I go doing that again. They did replace the 70D, but the thing is, it's still really valid technology. I don't even know necessarily off the top of my head what the difference is between the two. I mean, I've got both of these cameras shoot 4K. I rarely use the 4K, particularly for YouTube. I rarely use the 4K. My primary use for the 4K is typically if I'm doing like a sit down interview. I'll utilize the 4K to go a little bit wider than what I'm actually needing. And then I can use it to punch in. I can pan across. So it gives me a look of having multiple cameras. And that's really almost the only time that I'll shoot in 4K on this. On my drone, I shoot 4K regardless, unless I'm shooting at too high a frame rate. But I'm always shooting 4K on my drone. Thomas, hello. I've never been to Norway. It's way up there on my list, though. I had a list. So I had a list of things I wanted to talk about. And then I started this live stream, and the list was on my computer, and then it went away. Okay, so I found it. Don't worry. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, I've gotten a ton of questions asking me about vlogging, about me vlogging, about what it would take for me to start vlogging. And that is a good question. Primarily, it's so hard for me to even get something out once a week right now, just with life, that daily vlogging has very little appeal in the amount of work that it would take for me to do, and do it to where I would be proud to upload what I've got. And the real truth of it is, a lot of it would be almost this without me talking, because most of my day is sitting in front of a computer and editing a lot of really boring stuff. So I did have a wild thought a couple weeks ago about taking like 1 week this summer and try doing a daily vlog for like 7 days in a row. And just to see, like, maybe just wait till I have something interesting going on that week, where whatever that may be, but just as a personal challenge, trying to daily vlog for 7 days in a row. So basically film all day, edit all night, upload in the morning. That's how in my mind I imagine it would go. I don't know. Because there's part of me that's like, I almost feel like it would be boring and really obnoxious to do. And then as a bonus, I feel like it would also be really obnoxious to watch. Because again, I don't know that it would, okay. So the challenge would be making it interesting on top of just getting it done. And then I don't know. I don't feel, for one, for you to start daily vlogging, I feel like you need to have this really huge audience for anyone to even care enough to want to watch it. I made a video about it. Wasn't that good, but I'd make a video about it. And I feel like, even though I don't feel like I presented my argument as well as I should have, or could have, I feel like it's valid. Like, let me use a huge person. Like PewDiePie didn't start vlogging. Well, he didn't really vlog anymore, but he didn't start vlogging until he had a huge audience. And I feel like that's kind of how that needs to go. Like you really need to build a huge base. I don't know. Just shower thoughts again. Yes, Ian, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I've got a trip coming up this summer. I've got 3. My goal was to do 10 collaborations with other YouTubers by the end of the year. I'm going to be working. I've got some videos I'm going to be doing with Adam Busby. He's got a channel about 400,000 subscribers. What is his channel name? It's a Buzz World. He's got 6 daughters. So he's got a really big channel. And then Potato Jet, he and I are going to do some stuff later today. He's got about 60,000. Ed Ricker and I are wanting to do something here pretty soon. He's got about 60,000. And so, that is one of the biggest things that they tell you to do to kind of help grow your channel. So, and that's high up on my list. So maybe what I can do is do something maybe when I've got one of those trips planned out and maybe sort of vlog that. I don't know. See, Jay's got all the good info over here. Morgan, you're always fun to have around there, bud. Morgan and I are actually working on 2 ideas. One of them, so let me just explain. Morgan Wade is a very well-known world champion BMX rider with 0 videos on his channel, by the way. Morgan, time to start uploading. But anyway, he and I were actually wanting to do a BMX edit almost exclusively with the drone, just for kicks and giggles, just to try to make something obnoxious and hard to do. But so that's one of the videos we're wanting to be doing pretty soon. The other one I'll let slide for a minute because it is this is going to take a lot more planning. But anyway, so that was my. Is it getting darker in here? There you go. See, now I look blown out. I'm pretty white, guys. I hadn't really talked about this before, but I'm pretty white. Jay Malone, your spot on the semi-Ds. See. Blue House Burning. What kind of stuff do you do? The white 50 cent. I'd take 50 cents. It sounds like yeah. Oh gosh, I've got a feed here and I've got a feed over here. This is my Google computer, and this is my filming computer. Someone had asked me. I'm looking for my notes again. Someone had asked me if I was going to be buying the new Phantom. Probably not. What are you guys' thoughts on the new Phantom, the 4 V2? I'm not even sure. I definitely want to get some of the props. I feel like that's going to be a really cool thing. The Phantom 4 is insanely loud. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with the 4 is it's way too loud. Once you go Air or Pro, you never go back. I get it. So it looks like they don't quite have the new drone up for sale yet. To be honest, it's these small incremental changes that I don't really, to be honest, I just don't feel like they're just trying. I feel like they're just trying to boost sales instead of like push to the next level. I would love to see interchangeable lenses on the Phantom series. Something a little bit more on the affordable range that you could still change lenses with. Well, the P4 props are not available for purchase separately. I know they're not currently. I hope they make them available eventually. Well, they'll have to make them available eventually because people are going to start breaking these and they're going to need replacements one day. Yeah, I agree, Jay. Jay Malone says, I don't think it's enough of an update to cause anyone to upgrade now. I agree. I don't think because you're spending the same amount of money for essentially the same drone. I mean, I don't see that's even enough of a. I will. Let me put a caveat in there though. The OcuSync, I love OcuSync. The light, what was it called? Light Bridge that's on the Phantom 4. I don't like that at all. I get so many interruptions, signal interruptions and video feed interruptions on my Phantom 4 Pro. Way worse than I ever got with the Mavic. And it's really, I mean, and it always happens at a really terrible time. So I am stoked on the OcuSync. I think that was the right way to go. I don't know why they didn't implement that on the Phantom 4 Pro. But yeah, I mean, that's honestly the only thing I'd get really stoked about for that version. Other than that, I mean, it's not really that different, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do like, I miss the Mavic. I miss having the Mavic for traveling because it was so easy to get around, and there's so much more bulk mass weight on the Phantom that it's not quite as easy. Thanks, Luke. I appreciate that, man. You have been subscribed to me since like I was at like 300 subscribers. Steve Carpenter, what is everybody else thinking as far as like the Mavic 2, if they even do it? I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll do something comparable. But what do you think they're going to do for the Mavic, the replacement? Because I mean, honestly, the Mavic is such a solid platform still. And I have said this before, the Mavic is a better flying machine than the Phantom. I love the way the Mavic flies so much more over the Phantom. I wish that they would have just incorporated with the Mavic the higher speeds that the Phantom flies, and more sensors, which again they could easily do that. I say that as someone who doesn't design drones, but I could easily do that with do that on the next version of the drone. Okay, we got a Trump guy in here. Trump equals Jesus? No, I don't agree with that at all. I'm going to try something here, guys. I didn't know I could do that. That was very cool. Yes, if the Mavic gave flight, I would love for there to be some sort of incorporated optical zoom on all of their drones, because I feel like here's the funny thing. I was one of the local guys that I was working with. He was showing me a project he just finished for University of Texas, which we have a branch of here, and he was showing me this footage that I swore was from a helicopter, but he was shooting on Inspire 2 with an 80 millimeter lens, and it looked gorgeous because it's zoomed in and you've got a much shallower depth of field. He had control over his depth of field. It was just super cool, and I just immediately I got jealous, and I mean, I'm not going to drop $7,000 on a drone just because I just my wife needs a car before I need a new tool. But yeah, super cool. Super cool. I would love for them to do something like that. Something where they could, even on my Phantom, I mean, I've said this before, Polar Pro is a sponsor of mine, and they do, I wanted to talk to them about, so these, on the Phantom, these Indy, I feel like I'm going to snap something here. These Indy filters thread off, And it would be really easy if you could get it balanced where it wasn't going to burn up the gimbal. But if you could have lenses, sort of like how the old school, when I was really poor, how you could put on like a wider angle, or you could put on a telephoto thread-on lens. If you could get something that would balance and allow you to have a little bit of telephoto or a little bit of a wider angle, I think it would be really fun. Pick a trusted guy and make him a monitor so he can bump the fools. I don't even know how to do that. Luke, I had no idea you were in the UK, buddy. Jay Malone, I saw that video. Jay Malone says Devin Supertramp shot a video on the telephoto and from the Inspire, and it looked amazing. Devin Supertramp has been one of my favorite creators for a few years, and man, I want to. That's goals, man. Goals. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Has anybody seen? There have been a few leaked. There I go again. Dadgummit. There've been a few leaked video photos, supposedly of the Phantom 5. Has anybody seen those? And it looks like it has interchangeable lenses. More than likely, it's probably, if it's going to happen, it's probably going to be the Micro Four Thirds sensor, which is what all of the Panasonics and the Lumix does. But it looks very cool. That would be something. I mean, the only downside is based on the size is the weight, because those lenses get heavy real quick. Yeah, his whole team is ridiculously talented. I would love to be able to work with a team that big. Most of the stuff that I get hired out for is for me alone, or me plus one other. I would love to be able to get gigs where I'm being able to incorporate 5 or 6 guys and just go nuts. It'd be so much fun. I've got a job hopefully coming up this summer. One of my childhood friends from Brazil started a surfboard company in Costa Rica, and he wants me to come down and film some surfing footage with the drone and with my regular camera. So hopefully I'll be able to do some scuba diving to film, and then drone flying and whatnot. And we haven't got a date set for that, but I am super stoked. Maybe that'll be my vlogging week if I can make it happen. It'd be a heck of a lot of fun. Well, hello from the Netherlands. What time is it in the Netherlands? My take on using gimbals. I love gimbals. I do believe they're overused. I think people kind of swung really hard on the Go gimbal use. I love them. My pet peeve with them let me just say this. So typically on the lower budget side, the thing that sort of irritates me about them is I think to really utilize them well, you need 2 cameras. So you have one that you kind of leave on the gimbal, and then one where it is used for like shoulder mount. And like when I've used them in the past and when it's become annoying is when we'll try to set up a shoot and we'll have our gimbal time set up, which is really obnoxious. And we'll have to tear everything down, and then we'll set up for our non-gimbal time. And so I think they're incredibly awesome. If anybody saw the video that I did with the, where I was testing the boosted board batteries, the standard versus the extended range battery, I shot that like 75% on a Tilta G2X, whatever. Love gimbals. They're amazing. I've been waiting for the new Ronin S because it looks incredibly cool. And I really, I like their price point on that one. Yeah, exactly. Steve Carpenter saying that gimbals will have to have much bigger motors and interchangeable lenses. Um, they, I've actually, so I had a glide cam for a while, which is, you know, just an inertia gimbal. Is that right? Vern? An inertia, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It has no motors. And I had that for a long time. And then it just over years and years of getting used and moving and stayed in the trunk of my car too long, it just got destroyed. But I'm actually want to go back and get another one because they're so simple. Once you get them balanced out right, they're so simple to use that I want to have another one in my arsenal. And I feel really weird not having one right now. But then the other point is the price point on particularly electronic gimbals have really gone through the roof on some of them. The ones that I feel like are actually going to be worth having, because I tried to a little bit about me. I'm way frugal. I hate spending money on myself, and so I hate spending money on. Well, I'll just say this. My knee-jerk reaction is to go cheap before I go quality, which is probably not a great way to go all the time. But I would get like $100 gimbal, something to like fly a GoPro or to, you know, use your phone, which again, I'm not exactly super keen on, but I would try that. And I had some really terrible results. So, you know, when you get into these Tilta or the Ronins and stuff like that, where you can actually take a really big camera, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And the results that you get are, I had like three thought processes that happened right there. But yes, let me just back up and just say, yes, big fan. I'm not sure, going back to the drones though, if you're going to utilize something for the Phantom, if you're going to be utilizing an interchangeable lens on the Phantom, I'm not sure. Exactly. That would have to be a massive upgrade in size to be able to fly something with interchangeable lenses. If you've ever seen an Inspire and how big the gimbal is on the Inspire with the interchangeable lenses on the GX5, I think is what they call their GX5S or whatever it's called, their big one right now. That is a massive platform to be able to stabilize whatever the limit is of their lenses, which is pretty broad, but still. Altel Evo, I'm not sure what that is. Is that a gimbal or is that a drone? I guess I could have pretended like I knew what it was and just Google searched it real incognito. Oh, I have seen this one. It looks a lot like the Mavic. It was very weird. So one of the things that happens when somewhere when right around when I hit like 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers, I started getting a lot of emails from people saying, "Hey, review this, review that." And these guys, I think it was Banggood that sent me an email, but they wanted me to review this. And I said, "Yeah, sure. I mean, you're sending me $1,000 drone." And then they disappeared. No idea what happened. So I storyboarded out this whole video that I was going to do for this drone, and then never got a email back. So no idea what happened. But I really was stoked on checking this one out. It was, it's got a 4K camera. It looks awesome. I really, though, I have seen very little about it. So I've seen some flying footage, and I've seen a few guys, there's several guys that do reviews without showing me footage. And that bugs me so much. When they'll just go, "Here it is," and then they'll open it up, and then they'll film it flying in their driveway, and they'll never show me any footage. That just bugs the stew out of me. Infinite Altitude. So you have an Inspire? Sorry. So Infinite Altitude says, "I have a 14-42 for the Inspire 2. Good lens, not as sharp as a prime." Are you able to zoom on an Inspire 2 while you're in the air? Okay, so Luke, I have actually not used the DJI brand ND filters. I have a ton of the Polar Pro ones because they sponsor me, and I've also seen, what's that other company? Freewell, and their stuff's, I don't actually have any of it, but I've seen some of it, and it's plasticky. These guys actually use cinema grade glass, and to my understanding, it's relatively the same price as the DJI stuff. The Polar Pro to the DJI stuff is very similar in price. I love Polar Pro stuff. They've been really good to me, but I love their stuff before they were giving it to me for free. Their stuff is incredibly high quality. And so I say Polar Pro all the way. If price is an issue, I think the DJI stuff is perfectly solid. Infinite altitude, you see right through me. Jay, do you need someone to get rid of that gimbal? Just saying. Crane 2, thank you. Steve, that was the one I was in my head. I was trying to think of. I literally had that in my shopping cart at from BH Photo, and I was literally about to hit send or buy when I was talking to, I think I was talking to Ed Ricker, and he said, "Oh, have you heard of the new Ronin's coming out?" And I thought, "Oh, dang it. I'm horribly indecisive." So anyway, so I'm kind of on the fence because I did get to utilize the Tilta the other day or a week or two ago, and I kind of fell in love with it. It's really heavy. The Tilta is really heavy, but I'm a DJI guy the same way I'm kind of like an Apple guy, not to piss people off, but like I love DJI products. I've always had good experiences with them. Most of the problems I've ever had with DJI are related to me. So for me, I was kind of like, I'm really tempted to keep waiting, but I'm getting more and more projects coming up where I need to kind of go ahead and pull the trigger on that. They're all sort of around the same price point. So the Crane 2 is awesome. Again, I'm going to go back to Potato Jet, youtube.com/Potato Jet. He is a filmmaker out in LA, and he's got tons of gimbals. He's got a Crane 2 that I got to use, and it's super solid. The Tilta, though, the thing I liked about the Tilta that a lot of people might hate is that it's really heavy, but I like that because it kills even more of just the small inputs and the little vibrations and the twitching from your hands. I like that. But again, and I'm not utilizing it for a good 30 minutes straight. I'm using it for very specific shots, and I can set it down and pick up my other camera. That's just kind of how my shooting habits go. Luke says, if DJI makes the Phantom have interchangeable lenses, the Inspire will lose sales as one of its selling points. That's a good point. However, the price point on the Inspire is out of touch or out of attainability for most people. So if they can do that and still keep the price at where it is now, I'll look over there as if you guys can see it, but it's over there. If they can keep it around that $1,500 range, or at least under $2,000, I think it would do really well. Sponger Wero, it's afternoon in California. I'm supposed to be getting back out to California sometime this summer. I have fallen in love with California this year. I got to go out to San Diego earlier, and I was like my third time ever in California, and it's so nice. So you had to go. How do you say that? Imrocom. So a video that I have storyboarded out. I had a company. If any of you guys saw a video that I did last year before last, where I took some spray cans and shot them with my rifle, and I painted some pictures. So a company contacted me 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they said, "Hey, we just saw that video. We're an art supply company. We would love for you to do something fun, creative like that. Maybe not use a gun, but probably just got this video demonetized. But we'd love for you to utilize our products and do something kind of goofy and creative." And I said, "Yeah, great." And I here's all my ideas. WAP was me typing them out, and just WAP. And I said, "Here's all my ideas. Here's what I'd love to do." Morgan at the time, he was sponsored by Traxxas RC cars. So we were going to get like these 70-mile-an-hour cars and attach like paint to them and like rip them across this huge canvas and have like this whole thing. and they disappeared. And I was like, man. So I was like, I put in all this time to plan this. So what I'm tempted to do, which is probably what I'll do here in the next couple of weeks, is just go buy art supplies at like Hobby Lobby or something and just do the video myself without them. Dana Point, California. I have no idea where that is. Anybody know where that is? Is that north or south? IMRRO.com. Got it. Philip, welcome back. So there's a chance my mom, my brain works unilaterally. So my mom, I haven't said this to my mom or my parents, and so she might be getting a surprise, but there's a chance that I'll be moving to California this summer for 13 weeks. I said, not this summer, next summer. My wife wants to do travel nursing for a little bit, and there's some stuff. There's a really well-paying job in East Bay, which I think is near San Francisco, San Francisco, the Bay Area. Anyway, I would love to get out there and meet a bunch of you guys, and y'all have such amazing scenery, geography to film. Anytime I see guys from either like Alaska, California, or anybody who lives out in the Caribbean, I'm so jealous. Also, any of you guys in Europe, you've got so many cool things. Some of you guys, some of my subscribers from Scotland, holy cow, you guys have like, for example, the oldest building in my city is like 105 years old, and it's made out of wood, and most of it's burnt down. And then all of a sudden you go outside and you go, oh, look, this building's 1,500 years old. I mean, it's just so cool. Arizona's not a flyover state. Arizona, I had to go out there last year for a work thing. It was awesome. Jay Malone, I was out there last year. I had a client in Fayetteville, and I was driving up there once a week. It was hot and very humid, and it was very windy. Philip Ulrich says, so since you've used a Ronin M, I'm curious on your thoughts for the need stability of everyday YouTuber. I'm really tempted to buy one. Okay, so you're saying are you asking about using a Ronin M like for like regular daily YouTube videos? Because I tell you what, they're not exactly quick to set up. That's part of my temptation to use the to buy the S, because it's just kind of a single handheld. The M, requires two hands, and it's a bit more involved. I like the ease of just having one. You can set it down on a tripod. It kind of sits there by itself. The Ronin M is an amazing. Excuse me. All of a sudden Taco Bell is starting to make me burp. The M is really awesome. I do like it for everyday YouTubing. Unless you're sort of like a Peter McKinnon, where all of your videos are like short films, where you're putting in days of work for one video, which again, I think it'd be perfect for that. If you're trying to get stuff out kind of quick, I feel like you're going to feel really bogged down by the M and the amount of time it takes to set up. And it's huge. It comes in a big, I have a case here. It comes in a big case, and it's just a lot to lug around. Let's see. I've missed a whole bunch of questions here. Steve Carpenter. Okay, so you're halfway between San Diego and Los Angeles. San Diego, by the way, one of the prettiest cities I've been to in a long time. Ian, did you tell me? I thought you said your house was 400 years old. Is that right? Ian. Yeah, Ian. My house is 400 years old. So one of my best friends, he's British. He lives here now. That was one of the things he was telling me that's really interesting. Like, he's living he lived in a house that was 500 or 600 years old. And it was just built and the infrastructure is there. It's made out of stone and it's not going anywhere. And, it's like what we consider old here in the US is anything probably over 60 years old. And I mean, you guys, that 400 years old, that's probably a pretty young house for y'all. Let's see. Luke, I will check out your cinematography account. I have a huge desire to go to Scotland. Huge. Danny T, smelly knee growth. I would say Gold Bond or any sort of prescription strength deodorant. Okay, sorry. So I'm jumping. I'm trying to read all the comments here. So Philip says, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I've heard the setup process is intense. I don't like the one-handed ones as much as I thought I do to the weight. Again, it's kind of like it's tricky because, for example, the Ronin S, it's coming with the built-in tripod, which is great that you can just set it down and let it go. But again, it's almost like I don't like to get into them too much without having a second camera on hand that's not mounted on the gimbal, so I can just quickly swap. But I mean, if you're out and you're kind of running and gunning, you're running far, it's going to be hard. Like, for example, let me go back to one of my own videos. When I was doing the boosted board video, we did have the Tilta gimbal set up and ready to go, but we also had to have another camera. And the part of the problem was we were on boosted board, so we were covering a lot of ground. And so I would hold it for a while, and then Sam Richmond, who is helping me film, his arms would get tired. And so I would hold it, and then he would hold it, and then I would hold it, and he would hold it. And eventually we would just kind of like, to heck with it. And we had to go all the way back around and just put it in our car because we just got so sick of holding the thing. Well, man, Luke, I appreciate that. I don't feel like I'm worthy to be in his same category, but that guy is so good at what he does. He's one of those when I'll watch his videos and I'll go, oh. DX 200, the photos leak. It's a heavy camera. So Jay Malone just posted a video the other day that just about him renting the 1DX. I've never used it, but man, that thing was big. Holy cow. You're right, Steve. We're just babies over here. We're just babies. Daniel Hager, we were just talking about that. The Phantom 5, I don't know. I feel like before the end of this year, they'll probably have some sort of Phantom 5. I feel like the Phantom 4 2.0 or whatever the heck they're calling this thing, I feel it's just sort of like a holdover, kind of just to kind of boost sales, just a hair. I mean, it's the same thing that they did with the Platinum for the Mavic, just to kind of bolster up a little bit of excitement, because there's not enough tech change to really do anything to really get people jumping on like to something completely new. We were just talking about this. I would love to see some interchangeable lenses on the 5. And then, with each upgrade, I want to see a substantial increase in flight time. That, like, for me is huge. I know here in the US that makes a big difference. I know in the UK, you guys are limited to like 15 minutes of flight time regardless, if I'm understanding that properly. And that's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, that's the two things I would like to see: interchangeable lenses and increased flight time. I would actually also like to see a sensor on the top of the drone. That would also be on my list. Morton Bengas, man, I wish I knew how to say your name. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I haven't heard of that. That gimbal, I'm assuming, is what you're saying. FEYUMG V2. I'm going to check that one out. Thank you. Daniel Thomas, have you seen the cinematographer Ice Wallow Come 16 at... No, that guy's a group. No, I haven't even heard of that guy, but I will write that down. One of the things, for those of you who are jumping now, that I really like about doing this is sorry, I'm trying to think right and talk at the same time. One of the things I really love about doing this is that like you guys in the comments are like meeting each other, and that is just so cool. Like that's just so cool. I don't want to get all gushy and emotional because I tend to cry easy, but like that's just so cool because I've talked to people who are now friends with other people who just met in the comments of one of my random videos, and it's like that's just so awesome. I feel like the community of filmmakers and drone pilots, and I reference those a lot together because those are my two worlds. But I feel like it's such a small world to where like, I mean, there's not very many people even in my city that do what I do. If anybody does what I do in my city, I know them because there's so few of them. And so the fact that like, here we are, like people talking from all over the planet, it's just so cool. It's so cool. And it's so much fun. It makes doing these videos so much fun. Sorry, I didn't really mean to go on an emotional tangent there. Camera for 4K video in 1080p slow-mo. What do you think of the Sony a7S Mark II? I'm searching for something around 2,000 euros. I have a very strong feelings about the Sony a7S Mark II. Very strong feelings about them, as a matter of fact. This camera is amazing. So I'm going to take this off so you can see a little bit better. This is the Sony a7S Mark II, which has my heart. And then I have the a7R Mark II. Which virtually identical cameras. This is the A7R. They both do 4K. They both do 1080. They both do photos. This one does 42 megapixel photos. This one only does 12 This one only does 12 megapixel photos. This one can do 120 frames a second at 1080. This one can do 120 frames a second at 720. This one's still my favorite. I was saying earlier in this stream, I do a lot of 4K, like talking heads, kind of like this, for clients. And I've shot on the A7R Mark II 4K, and this camera will overheat time and time again. I don't know what it is, but I've had to like put ice water in a Ziploc bag and lay it over the camera to keep it from overheating. But the A7R is really strongly geared towards photos and doesn't handle that 4K very well. So yeah, if you're looking at the A7S Mark II, it has my endorsement. I love that camera, and I've shot 4 short films on it already. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 or 5. So yeah, I love it. It's my workhorse, and it's what I do all my YouTube videos with. And on a side note, I teased like 2 months ago that our latest short film is it's done, and I literally I did a video where I was kind of like introducing it and just kind of giving it a little bit of context because it's a 3-minute short film. So I was just going to kind of like, hey guys, here's a new film. Here's the amount of time we put into it. Here's the idea behind it. And then I was just going to lead into the short film. And then Grayson Lackey, who's one of my filmmaking partners, he's the one who wrote it. And like literally, I was literally about to hit the button. He calls me. He goes, wait. It's like, I want to wait because we're using it to raise money we want to do a feature length film based off the short film. He's like, the script's not completely done on the feature. So it is coming. I am going to release it on here, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. But I do apologize because I had a bunch of people ask me like, hey, where is it? You said you were going to release it. I am. But it's just gotta get Grayson on board, I guess. But that was also, just in case you watch this in a few weeks, that was also all shot on the A7S Mark II. I am, though, super excited. I just got approved through our office manager, Zine lenses. They make these really amazing, but budget-friendly. There I go again. Budget-friendly cinema lenses, and the kit is like $8,500. So I've got to find I have to find the right gig to build these, just so it doesn't hit the wallet so hard. But they make these amazing kit lenses that I got to shoot when I was in San Diego. Potato Jet and I were doing a side-by-side comparison of the A7S Mark II to the Arri Alexa, and he had these kit lenses. If you look at the Rokinon Zine kit on BH Photo Video, it's like $8,500. But it comes with like a 14, 24, 35, 50, 85, and a 135. Oh my gosh. It's gorgeous glass for the price. I mean, like you can get your, what do they call them? The Panavisions for like 20 grand for one lens. So, I mean, these are a budget cine lens, but still I'm pretty excited because what my first goal is to try to do some YouTube videos with it, which may be more trouble than it's worth, but it's a goal. It's a goal. Let's see. Hi from the UK. Oh man, my comments stopped scrolling. I'm way behind. Okay, Luke. So you have the same issue with overheating. Man, that was obnoxious. So you have the A7. Let me explain who I'm talking to. So Blue House Burning, you have the A7R Mark III or the A7R Mark II? Because my A7R Mark II overheats. Only shooting 4K, but it overheats when I'm shooting 4K. Yeah, Daniel, I agree. They just, and it's the same thing Apple did when they did like their. It's like, oh, here's the 6. Oh, here's the 6S, and it's really not that different. I feel like that's kind of what they did. Do you know any good dash cams? OJ5. What? Do I know you? I'm asking because somebody sent me a dash cam to review. And the annoying part, not about the dash cam, they sent it for my race when we were racing in New Orleans last month. And our cigarette lighter wasn't working, so I didn't have time to hardwire it into the battery. We went out first 14 laps, car got smashed, bent, and torqued. And so I don't have any footage of the crash, and we would have if I'd had the dash cam installed. It is called, I'm trying to think, it's sitting out there in my garage. It's called Crud. It's not called Crud. What is that thing called? There's an app for it, Thinkware. It's called Thinkware. And to my understanding, I haven't even had a chance to hook this up, but I've watched a lot of the, they sent me a lot of their media. And the cool thing about it is that, to my understanding, connects to your phone and it uploads your driving footage to the cloud if you want it to, I think, as you're going. So like if you say, like if an accident happens, you can hit the button on the thing and it'll upload, let's just say however long you set it for. Like, let's just say you set it for the last 15 minutes. You can upload that footage to your phone, to the cloud, if I'm not mistaken. And it does front and back. So it's got a camera for the sits in your glass that points forward, and it's HD. And then it's got a camera wire that you run back to the camera for the bumper, and it does the same thing. So let's see. Crud dash cams. Yeah. What does that acronym stand for? Okay, so you do have the Mark III. I actually didn't know there was an A7R Mark III, just because I'm very bad. People assume that I keep up with technology really well. I don't really, until almost either it comes up in the comments of a video, which is sad, or someone just happens to send me. People do send me a lot of links, like, oh, what do you think about this? I mean, that's actually how I find out about technology. Ken Heron has a video on dash cam. Yeah, he would be the guy. He's the guy that got rear-ended pretty hard. Yeah, Philip. So like I said, they sent it to me. I was going to utilize it for the race. Didn't have time to set it up. I don't know if it's gimmicky. The original, so long story short, I had agreed to do a video. They make a different one that shows like G-forces 0 to 60 time top speed and stuff like that. And it overlays that on the video. And I said, yes, send that to me. I'll do it at the race. You know, that's awesome. That I can make a video out of. And then they sent me that one instead. And so I thought, I really did. This isn't what I agreed to. So I haven't done a video about it. The video is just sitting out there. So, or the camera's just sitting out there. Billy Neff. So I used to be more into still photography. Recently, I have gotten into 360 photography, tiny plants, etc. Have you had a play with that? It really messes with your brain when you go into taking photos. So I almost bought the new GoPro or whatever the 360 GoPro is. My friends have, and I've gotten to play with those a little bit. It really is, because I'm used to, as a filmmaker, and this is partly why I don't feel like 360 is going to be around forever. But the very important part about being a filmmaker and choosing your lens and choosing your shot framing is to direct your focus. So when I plan a scene and when I direct the action, I want it to happen in front of my lens, and I don't want you to see what's going on over here. And obviously 360 takes that out of the equation because you don't have that ability. Now, as far as the small planet stuff, I was hanging out with Ken Heron a month or two ago, and he was showing me on, what drone is it? Is it the Air that does that? That does the tiny planet and the pull where it pulls out? That was freaking cool. Like it makes a GIF or something, or a GIF. I'm not trying to start any battles here, but it does that little pull out 360 thing. That was so cool. I really don't have tons of experience with it. I've done some panoramic stuff with the Phantom and the Mavic. Yeah, with the Phantom as well. But that was super cool. That's all the experience I've got. Ian in London, good night, sir. My wife is going to make me take her to the UK. As soon as she's done with school next summer, we're going to be doing some traveling. Let's see. 360. Always see that ugly guy standing around the camera. Yeah, exactly. There's too much of this. It's too much. If I could, my videos would probably do better if there was less of this. Let's see. When do the side sensors work on the Phantom 4 Pro? Only in tripod mode, which is silly. But yeah, because that was an issue I had until I figured that out. But yeah, the sensors on the side of the Phantom only work when you're in tripod mode, which, again, it's going so slow at that point, it's almost unnecessary. But yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. I love that people here are talking to each other. I don't know why. I feel like it just makes me happy that people are talking to each other. Wow. Okay, so I have never really been from Guten Abend. Is that German? I feel like that was German. I hope that was good. I hope that was German. Either that or I hope it wasn't a swear word. I got that from a movie, a Bill Murray movie called The Man Who Knew Too Little. So I don't have any, I've never had any Canon experience other than just utilizing their lenses. I don't know Canon cameras, but $3,500 as the threshold for a decent Canon camera is insane. I have a lot of green screen. I've updated everything. Mitch McLean, are you shooting on a Phantom 4 Pro? Because I also utilize an iPad for the Phantom, and I get tons of it. And it's not the iPad; it's the Light Bridge. It's the system that they utilize to connect from the drone to the remote, and it's not very good. The Mavic uses OcuSync, and is a much stronger, much more stable platform. Steve Carpenter, thanks, man. You guys are amazing. And I know I hear every YouTube person say that, but I don't know. I don't know how someone with 9 million subscribers can know necessarily people. And it's not obviously we know each other on a name-to-name basis, but I see the same people commenting on videos. And so I feel like I get to know you guys. That sounds really cheesy and maybe a little lame, but that's fine because that's a little bit who I am. And it's for me, I'm so stoked. Luke Latron, sorry, I hope that's how you say your last name. He comments on all my videos. Jay Malone has been commenting on videos forever. Philip Oric, you comment on stuff all the time. And so it just, like I love just like I feel like it's just the community, the people are still there. Like it's just awesome. Sorry, getting all sentimental over here. Okay, so you have the Phantom 4. I believe the Phantom 4 also utilizes Lightbridge. Is it Lightbridge? I feel like it's called Lightbridge. Anyway, it's a different connectivity for the video feed, and it is not very stable. My iPad gets tons of interference, but it does get more than my phone. Like if I fly with my phone, it doesn't seem to do it as much. But it is the system. It is the system that's causing that for whatever reason. Wait, the P5 side sensors only work in tripod, or the on the P4, but yeah, the side sensors only work in tripod mode. Luke Lachon, yes, that is a fun part of having a smaller channel. I mean, not to go against that, but like, I do want to hopefully keep growing, but yes, that's the awesome part about being this size and being able to kind of have a sense of community. It's so cool. How's the go-kart? Okay. Took the go-kart out. So one of my new subscribers turned new friend, Dan Formsma. He lives nearby. He came out. I was doing a video, and I was actually the goal of the video was to show. We were going to do sort of just get shots of the go-kart at high noon when the lights kind of like gross and ugly, then doing it again at golden hour, and just kind of slow-mo, kind of all cinematic, whatever, side by side. We go out, we film for a little while, and one of the threads on the crankcase came out. The crankcase gasket blew out, got oil all over him, and anyway, so it made we had to stop. I went back, got some replacement parts, put it back together, and then the clutch exploded. So the go-kart was doing great for about an hour. But I'm gonna have to like replace the gasket and then fix the clutch. But yeah, I got new tires on it. I don't know. So my top speed videos where I was doing like, what did I do? 73 miles an hour on the go-kart with the lawnmower engine. I hadn't had time to, let's say this, I haven't been taking it out because I hadn't had any money to buy new tires for it. I have new tires now, and I got super stoked to finish up this video or to do another video with it. And then, yeah, so what I think I'm going to do, I've got an idea to answer a few questions that I've gotten in the comments over the last few months. What I think I'm going to do, so you guys are prepared, I want to do this video where I start off with a go-kart, and kind of the goal, go to the failure, and then just basically two videos that just sort of butt into one, because literally I didn't get enough stuff to complete that video because the cart broke. We got run off. Like we were filming this really amazing location, and then this construction crew came out and said we didn't have permission to be there. It was a closed off road. It's actually where I filmed my last video. It was a closed off road. So it was perfectly safe. And I was like stoked. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be amazing. The sun's going to set like right here. It's going to be this, beautiful golden hour with nothing between us and the sun. It's just going to be gorgeous. And they ran us off and then brought the police out. So, it's turned into a whole thing. So anyway, I do, because I want to show the cart again. And that cart, I put like 30 or 40 hours of my own back sweat. I don't think that's sweat, back-breaking labor, and money into. So I do want to, I want to put it in another video. That was a very long, drawn out explanation, but G Malone, I was speaking for the memory. Actually, M50. The M50. That was the one I was trying to think of earlier when I kept saying M80, and every time I Googled it, it brought up firecrackers, and I was like, I know I'm close. It's not the M80. The M50. Sorry, my brain jumps so many different things. I'm trying to. Is it M50? Are we both on the right page? Because I'm looking up M50 and it's bringing up BMWs. There it is. Okay. Yes. Okay. Canon M50. The Canon M50 actually, again, I'm sorry, I'm going to name drop again. Potato Jet, youtube.com/potato jet. One of my really good friends, LA based filmmaker. His stuff is humblingly good. Anyway, he uses the M50 for all of his stuff. And if you want to see how do you take something of this price range and make it look amazing, you should check out his channel. It's Potato Jet. He used, like I said, so anything where he's talking like how I am now to the camera, he's using that. And then any of his travel stuff, because he travels all over, where he's in Iceland or Mexico or Canada or whatever, he's taking that camera. So he's utilizing it probably to its fullest extent, more so than I've seen anybody else do. Uh-oh, am I gone? Did I lose my connection? Oh, are you answering somebody else? And I'm just, sorry. Yeah, sorry, this is the back sweat comment. Sorry, everybody. David Ma, how are you? Let's see. Well, thanks, Luke. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Canon M50. It tops 24. Yes, you're very right. UK. See you guys meeting and talking. Super cool. So I had somebody, actually, let me backtrack. I had a bunch of people ask me about shutter speeds with frame rates. Is that something that a lot of people are not familiar with? So I've been doing video for a while. I'm only kind of like recently venturing into photography, and by venturing in, I mean portrait photography. And by venturing in, I also mean charging money for it. I've done a lot of photography just out of the fact that the fields are somewhat related, but so shutter speed, frame rates and shutter speed, I made mention of them in a recent video. I don't really remember which one, but I had a lot of people that were asking me to explain more about shutter speed and why you go with certain settings and why you kind of limit things to blah, 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 blah. Anyway, is that something that a lot of people aren't familiar with and would like a video about? Because to be honest with you, getting ideas for content is very nice. There's a lot of times when I sit there and I go, I would like to have a video come out this week. I don't know what to do a video about right now. So if that is something that people are curious about in regards to video, not photography, if there's anybody looking for photography, I would point you to anybody else. Jay Malone, phenomenal photographer. Peter McKinnon, very good photographer. So, I would point you to those guys. But if there's any questions on video and film shutter speed, is that something anybody would like? I'll now refer to the comments. Let's see. Oh, I missed some stuff here. Let me go up. Let's see. So let's see. Keep it up, buddy. Oh, anytime a new comment comes, I lose my spot because it jumps up. Let's see. Good night from Scotland. Great stream. Andrew Elias Jones. Did I say that right? I'm sorry if I didn't. Thank you, sir, from Scotland. Have a great evening. Falling with style FPV with a semi-automatic. Are you referencing something I said, or are you answering somebody else's question? Philip says, your video on video tips a while back was very helpful. Thank you. Which video? I've been trying to do, so I did a video a while back where I was just kind of gushing about 10,000 subscribers. And I was saying I was doing some big changes. One of the things I want to do, so I went and I learned a whole bunch about YouTube from people at YouTube. And it turns out people at YouTube don't even fully understand their platform. But one of the things that they described to me were, let me see if I get the right terminology, seasonal videos and then evergreen videos. So a seasonal video, an example of a seasonal video is saying, here is a Mavic Pro unboxing, right? So that's seasonal because eventually the next drone's coming out and that video is going to be outdated and no one's really going to watch it anymore in a year's time. Now, an evergreen video is a video that says, for example, my more recent stuff that's like, here's how to get better drone footage. That should be universally applicable even 15 years from now. So I'm trying to focus some of my videos on being evergreen videos, dadgummit, being evergreen videos so that they're not obsolete and not getting any views in like 2 or 3 years time, if that makes any sense at all. So videos like filming techniques and rules of thumb are universal or timeless in their application. So I do want to kind of hit some of those because of the very thing of just continued channel growth and views down the road and substance. This is why I need to plan out how I talk better. Let's see. Heard a lot of the concepts you talked about before, but never used them really. Yes, I love your video, shutter speed info. Cool. I would love to have a video about that, Chris. Whoa. I lost you, man. I was reading your comment and then it jumped up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Grant saying thumbs up on the shutter video. I can do that. I think I want to get some stuff together. I don't want to just kind of like wing it. I'll try to get some stuff together the next week or so and see if I can maybe put it with my go-kart footage. See if we can try to get that to work. I am not an editor at heart. I don't like editing. I don't like anything about it. Oh, I mean, I'd say that. That's wrong. I like molding the story. And for work, I get to send about 75% of the stuff that I shoot for work. I get to send off to, I have a guy that works for me that edits, and he's so good. He makes what I do look so much better than when I edit it. Like I did a commercial for, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a restaurant that I think is only in Texas. It's called Jalapeno Tree. I do all their commercials. We have another place called, it's a boot cowboy store called Cavender's. They're in the South. I do their stuff. Anything that I do, I send to him. So part of what I would need to make my channel better is to be better and have more of a passion for editing. It's just so different it's not different. It is different. It's different from the filmmaking side where I'm pointing a camera and I want to make that look good. And it's like when I sit down to edit, I don't have that same passion for that. I have the passion. I want to make it look good. The skill coming out of my fingers into it, implementing into this really amazing video. That's just not my strong point. And so I don't know why did I get off on that tangent? I don't remember what happened. I was reading a comment. Something set me off, guys. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? Oh my gosh. I'm glad I do these when my wife's gone, because she would be standing right over there laughing at me. Hey, Luke, I want to write your cinematography channel down because I'm not going to remember that. Luke Watley -big. Got it. I'll check it out. Philip, we're going to be, I think, some stuff on audio along with the video would be a good topic. Oh, audio stuff. Yes. You're right. A lot of people don't. How's this audio, by the way? So I'm utilizing right now this Yeti. What do they call these things? Yeti Blue. Does it sound pretty good? I don't have any control over my volume without going into my computer settings because this is running through my laptop right now. I'm still a little hoarse from strep throat last week. Thank you guys for sitting through the video that I posted last week with strep throat. That was painful. But anyway, I can tell the light's starting to change because the dynamic range is suffering on this light. Woo! So I'm looking, so this is a pretty well-informed community. I want to, for future streams, I want to, why is that so contrasty? I want to find a way to utilize this camera for my live streams. I'm not exactly certain. Hello? My audio just dropped off. I want to find a way. Sorry, I got distracted. I want to find a way to utilize this camera for this. So, because right now I'm using the built-in webcam, which I don't like because the dynamic range is horrendous and I don't have any control over it. But I want to set this up as my streaming camera. And I'm told there's some stuff you can do that can take your HDMI signal, convert it to a USB signal to utilize this through YouTube, but I'm not exactly sure because YouTube's live streaming is still so wonky. That's just meaning it's kind of complicated. If anybody has any of those tips, DM me because I really don't like this look of the webcam at all. Let's see. Sounds okay. Well, that's good. I'm trying to on my so when it comes to doing sound, if I do a sound video, are you Peter Weekend? Maddie uses a C300. Holy crow. That's a serious camera. So when I first started doing these videos, I was using this. This was my sound thing. This is a Sony XY-ST1M. And this is what it is. It's got these little things. It was okay. This little dead mouse thing was not great. It still got tons of wind noise. But then the issue is what started happening was there's actually a couple of videos I had to disregard and completely throw out because it would go into the hot shoe like that. And then in the middle of a take, it would stop recognizing it and it would stop recording audio. And then I would get back to edit my video footage that had no sound or it'd be screechy. It would just turn like, so I stopped using this and I went back to the old tried and true. I think I got this from Best Buy. This is a Asden SMX10 that I got for probably like $30. And this is what I've been using along with this, which is fantastic. But yeah, this is what I've gone to. And so when it comes to doing a video on sound, are you more interested in sound like this, like what we're doing now, or production sound in general, or sound for like YouTube videos? Sounds good. I have a Yeti 2. I no longer use it. It sounds much better than my lavalier mic, and it's distracting, and the sound quality from good to better when I swap mics. I mean, just trying to understand it. Sorry, that's dyslexia kicking in. I no longer use it. So I have a lav that I use as well. It's a very expensive one. I just don't like being mic'd. I did some stuff with Ready Set Drone, and he uses a lav that's not actually a wireless signal. It's recording sound straight into the it's got like an SD card with a battery just on the hip. And so we would be out for like 2 or 3 hours and the sound was just rolling. And then he goes back, finds those spots and tries to sync it up manually. Oh, that's a lot of work. He gets his stuff to sound great, but that is so much work. Jay Malone says, OBS to utilize the DSLR for live. Yeah, I would just from Google searches. That's kind of what I heard. They look like they're around $200. I need to just pull the trigger on that. So Philip, you're saying any game capture card could do HDMI. I know I'm not into gaming, so I'm not sure what that is, but I'll put that on my list of things to Google. Game capture card. Capture card. You make a video about how to make an atmosphere in videos. Sure. What do you mean in atmosphere? You talking about? Sorry, the wife's texting, guys. I gotta get this. It's about Mother's Day. Oh, good. Tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. Potato Jet. Oh, was that Carrie that said hi? That sounded like a Carrie hi. Potato Jet's here, guys. Hey, bud. Tell Carrie I said hi. Thanks for the great live broadcast. I'm off to my mom's for my Mother's Day. Hey, there you go, Steve. Good job, man. Good job. Boom, love, hot shoes. Okay. So, Phil, that feels like a video I need to put some time into, which is great. I will. I'm going to put that on my list. I've got my little marker board in my office. I've been kind of like slowly filling it up with stuff, and I kind of have it organized and stuff I can do sort of with less time, and then stuff that's going to take a little bit more time. And one of my struggles, sorry, I started read comments again. So one of the things that I need to get really good at, or need to get better at, something that Potato Jet's so good at, is that, like, for example, let's say I'm in the middle of doing a video, let's just say about my cart. Well, while I'm there, I can get footage that would relate to a video that I'm going to release like weeks down the road. And I need to get better at doing that. I try to do that. I've gotten some of it to where I was kind of like a little proud moment, like, oh yeah, I was able to get a little, planning in the future done today for like 2 weeks. But I need to get better at that, because something like that is, that's a great idea. I just need to really strategize how to do that. Oh, thanks, PJ. I got it. It kind of had I read it in Carrie's voice. That's why I thought it was her. Sound for drone video is a good idea for a video. It's so underlooked. I have a video for my channel. So later you can. Oh, all right. See you, Fitzy Lobster Shack. Thanks for hanging out, man. Overlooked, not underlooked. There was a short film that talking about video for drones. So this guy, I'm gonna try to find it. You guys need to go look it up. What was that thing called? That's not it. Hang on. So this guy did a single shot drone film. You guys might have already seen it, and he did it on a mini quad with a GoPro. It's a single shot, and he's like flying through things. It's about a 2-3 minute short film, but as he's going, the sound design was brilliant, because he had like whatever he was flying near, the sound design, whoever his sound guy was phenomenal, because it was like people chattering, and then birds, and then the ocean, and then basketball, and then weightlifting, and like it was phenomenal. I think he was down on Muscle Beach in somewhere in California. Is that Los Angeles? Gene, is that in Los Angeles? I can't remember. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. It's called Muscle Up. Good film. Good name. It's called Muscle Up, 2017 Los Angeles Drone Festival show winner. Super awesome. I can't remember. What is that guy? I want to give that guy props, because he was, get it? Props. What is that guy's name? The pilot for this, the guy's phenomenal. Anyway, go look up. Don't do it right now, because y'all leave the stream. But Muscle Up, drone short film. Awesome. Super awesome. Stuff that I aspire to. Dog clicker for portable recorder sound from camera. Yes. Anything to sync audio and visual. I clap for most of my stuff. Venice Beach, Rick, maybe. I don't know California as much as I'd like to. Dog clicker is smart though. Yeah, a dog clicker is good because it's short and sharp and it's loud. That's kind of the thing. To use something, I've seen people try to do like whistle. That's not a great way to go because it varies in pitch and it's not short. You need a quick spike on your audio to sync those up. Okay, so film about sound design. Okay, I will try to. So again, let me just back up. I'm a camera guy. I'm a shooter. That's where like I'm a DP, cinematographer, DP, director of photography. The sound design, that's so specific. Like that's why those guys, that's their whole job. I will try to come up with a video to best explain what I know. And I may try to dig into some of my friends who have much better knowledge and maybe get them to, excuse me, again, Taco Bell. Get some friends to maybe kind of pitch in some ideas. Maybe I can get Potato Jet to throw me some bones and help me get some good stuff there. Just kind of make it a fuller video with a little bit more helpful knowledge. But yes, I'll put that on the list of stuff to work towards. Tony Droney, that is a cool name. I film a lot of Moto X and have real issues getting audio from the bikes onto the drone footage. Any help, Chris? So what I like to do, for example, like if you're doing motocross, if you're doing, if your guys are willing to, because the thing that's important for me, if I'm trying to do a video utilizing ambient noise but getting the drone audio out of it, I will take something like this or like a zoom, what do they call those things? And I will record that audio without flying the drone. So let's say your guy's doing laps. I will try to follow and capture that audio without the drone in the air. Sometimes I'll even use this camera and just use the audio, and I'll follow this around. Like if this guy's turning laps, or if let's say if he's doing freestyle, let's say he's doing tail whips or whatever, that's a very distinct sound. As they come in, whap, and they'll blip the throttle and come back through, which I've done. I've filmed some of this, is why I'm specifically saying this. So then I'll go back through and then just try to I'll take that audio off those files and I'll put that into my drone footage. Like for example, I was doing something. Who was I doing that for? I was doing something for a guy recently, within like 3 or 4 months ago. And he was doing these drive-bys and he wanted and he wanted that shift change. So I was recording that from the side of the road, the audio, and then had the drone later. And then obviously because the drones don't record sound, but then, I was just syncing those two up. That's what I do. I can't, I used to fly with the Phantom 1 and, you deal with that GoPro noise of that angry hornet's nest of what it used to sound like. And you'd have to drop the audio on all those. So yeah, that's what I do. I just go through, keep the drone out of the air, get some shots with just your camera or whatever you're utilizing to get clean audio, and do that, because it's really cool. Because a lot of people don't do that. And I'm stoked you're trying to do that. A lot of people don't try to put like the ambient audio into drone footage. And I think they look really cool together. Hacking call. I can sync 2 or 3 cameras that way. That's funny. In public, I use a hacking cough. I can sync 2 or 3 cameras this way in my portable mics. Most people never notice someone hacking away. That's a very good point. You must be doing prank videos, right? You're going down like Venice Beach and running up and throwing water in people's faces. So Blue House Burning is saying use audio libraries. That is true. You can. If you're filming something like, let's just say like freestyle motocross, the audio is going to be very distinct. It's non-generic because it's particularly if you're doing tricks, because the it's not just a ramp sound. They're blipping and they're revving and braking and doing quite a bit in the air. That's what I try to do that with what, wow, I don't know how I was going to structure that sentence. That's why I say I like to record separately. But again, that's the cool thing about filmmaking. There's not exactly a right or wrong way to do any of this. You could get an Elgato HD capture card on a live stream. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I'd love to find a way to utilize my DSLR to do this. It's Mother's Day. I need to take the wife out to eat Chinese food. We have 3 kids. She earned. All right. Well, hey, man, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Go have fun. Happy Mother's Day to your wife. Jay, got to run. Sounds good, buddy. Tony Droney, you're welcome. Sorry, I got on a run of people leaving. I just thought, I should probably go myself. So my wife works from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. She's one of the most hardest working people that I know. But I like to try to have the house relatively clean when she comes back because she's dealing with, sick, crazy people. So, try to ease the transition back into the house. Sound when you fly, DJI syncs the low-res proxy files on your full resolution ones. Not great audio, but in a pinch. For instance, okay. I actually don't use the what's that thing called? My word, my brain is not working today. The DJI app will record a little bit of video, kind of like as a backup. They're not great res. I think that's what you're talking about. I turned that off. That just bothered me. Partly I only have like a 16 gig iPad, and so it was filling up the memory on that thing. Luke is saying that in Premiere Pro, you can use a feature that automatically syncs up all the shots using a clap. Yeah, I actually edit in Final Cut, and it has the same thing. It's called multicam clips, and it's hit and miss, by the way, if it actually will sync it up properly. Man, brides need to lighten up. I thought you had a bride on a wedding day. Business. Yeah, I don't really do weddings anymore unless it's just for a favor because I just got sick of it. And the money's good and it's hard to pass up sometimes, but I just got so tired of it. It just wore me thin. And it's a lot of pressure. You only get one shot at this. Get it? But darn it, I've got to stop doing this. You only get one chance at getting it right. It's not like you could say, could you give the bouquet back to her so that we could get that again? So, Philip, those aren't DSLRs, Chris. You're right. I'm sorry. It's the universal term, right? I mean, well, it's not the universal term, but it is the, it's a catch-all. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Well, guys, I have been super stoked to hang out with you guys. It is going on 5 o'clock here. 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, I think is what that's called. I'm going to hide that. You live in Darwin, Australia. Okay. So I'm the kind of person, when I watch TV, I'm a big documentary person, by the way. When I watch TV, I watch it with my laptop or my iPad because I just search. Like I'm going through a documentary on Netflix right now on Bobby Kennedy, and I'm learning so much right now because I'll sit there and just Wikipedia and just just Google search after Google search. Darwin, Australia, it showed up on one of my what was I watching? Probably BBC, something on the BBC. But man, I want to get down there so bad. I don't know. It just seemed so cool. But yeah, it was one of those places I'd never heard of until I don't know, David Attenborough just happened to mention it about something. Anyway, got a really weird thing going on here. Some guy hopping. I don't even know who this guy is. I've got the ability to hide those. Very cool. So next time, I want to do more of these because they're fun. And I will look into doing like a moderator, apparently for guys like this Mancha character. So I think just like that. Anyway, well, guys, I have got to go. Well, I don't have to, but I should. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the questions. There are a lot of, I got some really cool stuff here actually to go to build off of going forward. Wow, really interesting crap going on here. Anyway, well, guys, thanks for hanging out. It has been awesome. Hopefully I can get a video out. I'm going to film tomorrow, going to pick up the new race car. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I am going to, I'm not exactly sure how to end this. So there's got to be a button here somewhere. Anyway, guys, happy Mother's Day. And I will see you guys in the next one.